Welcome. Pleasure to be here. Thank you very much. Yes. This is the head of military.
Protection and climate change on the basis of equality, reciprocity, and mutual benefit. We may applaud them. The MOU now signed is a field of environmental protection and climate change. The MOU is on agricultural research and cooperation. Institute and the Foreign Service Academy of Kenya. The objective of the MOU is to give priority to joint research, introduction and elaboration of modern methods for training diplomats and teaching techniques in the above-mentioned areas to exchange relevant literature and publications.
In this very specific case, the understanding between the European Union and Kenya will shortly yield beneficial results for the relation between the Union and Kenya, but including for the relation between Romania and Kenya. And it's good to see these aspects as well. Kenya is a gateway, really an entryway into this African region. This is a very important gateway, a democratic state that is stable with very good perspective. And this is how it will be possible to expand significantly areas that are very obvious, such as trade, such as investments, but not any type of investment. And I'm so happy that President Ruto already mentioned quite a lot of these. It is possible in green energy to invest us from Europe here in Kenya to get green energy for Europe. At the same time, of course, there is a transfer of technology from Europe to Kenya. At the same time, obviously, jobs are created. This is very valuable here in Kenya for the people here. It is clear that with this collaboration, tights will be clear, relations will be tighter between European interested states and Kenya quite significantly. It is a huge opportunity for businesses in Romania because they will have an easy way to come to Kenya, to invest here, to do business here. At the same time, it is a very good way for Kenya to increase trade with Romania quite significantly and to bring Kenyan investors to Europe, to Romania. All of these are beneficial for both parties, of course. And we in Romania understood this quite a long time ago, and we supported from the beginning the positive negotiation of this agreement. And I can say I'm very happy that we have a happy ending, and this agreement will be signed in just a couple of days. One part that I will mention here specifically is that it opens the opportunity to work together, not just on green energy, but broadly speaking, moving toward a green economy in Kenya and in Romania. It is a tremendous opportunity to work together to prevent or to fight climate change, to protect the environment, to have joint projects of renaturation, and of course, it is a very beneficial framework for exchange on education. And this is what I spoke today with President Ruto, and we will put these projects in practice. Kenya is an example of political stability and democratic transition in Eastern Africa, and moreover, economic, financial, transport, and sustainable development hub for the entire region. Our consultations today have reconfirmed that we have joint topics of interest and similar positions toward global current concerns and challenges. So we've agreed to develop cooperation in areas of an essential role both for Romania and Kenya, protecting the environment and fighting climate change, civil protection, education, digitalization, green energy. I've expressed my appreciation for the role of leader undertaken by President Ruto and Kenya in the efficient management and fighting climate change, and we've agreed that our administrations cooperate tighter in this respect. We've identified a major cooperation potential between Romania and Kenya in areas such as biodiversity and forest, digitalization for sustainable development, energy transition, education for environment and climate change, and efficient answer to natural disasters and food insecurity. Allow me to express also my appreciation to signing bilateral cooperation documents in the field of environment, sanitary, veterinary, and food safety, agricultural research, and training of diplomats. I've agreed with President Ruto to work together to encourage the business environment in Kenya and in Romania to start joint projects, both bilaterally and on third-party markets, including in fields on digital transition and green transition. We want to value the geostrategic positions of Romania and Kenya as gateways, significant gateways for the regional economy. Within discussions of today, we've shared opinions on the evolutions in various files of recent interest at regional level, focusing on the possibility to solve possibly expanding crisis. We've reiterated Romania's commitment to deepening and catalyzing diplomatic relations and cooperation with Kenya to strengthen peace and security at regional and global level. Romania, as Kenya, is interested in solving crises in the world through dialogue, through multilateral instruments, and by observing and respecting the international law. Moreover, Kenya can count on Romania as regards promoting and developing relations with the European Union. Instruments such as Global Gateway and the Team Europe initiative provide specific opportunities in this respect. I will encourage institutions and companies in Romania to get additionally involved in implementing them, including by involving Kenya. In today's discussions, I presented the Romanian assessments regarding the aggression war carried out by Russia against Ukraine, the direct consequences of the armed conflict on the security of Romania, and at European level. Furthermore, I've analyzed the effects of these conflicts on the food safety of the states in Africa, including on Kenya. I also presented Romania's contribution to facilitating grain exports from Ukraine to ensure global food security. Romania has taken significant measures and has invested in infrastructure to be able to ensure from the beginning of the war transit of over 30 million tons of cereal from Ukraine to global markets, including Africa, and we will continue with an increased capacity. We've agreed that we will continue to cooperate in multilateral fora to promote international order which is based on rules. Moreover, we support the efforts that President Ruto submits and takes in cooperation with international partners to find the best solutions to crisis files in Africa.
To set off the process of actualizing our common agenda in these areas, we also witnessed just now the signing of 4 memorandum of understanding: environment protection and climate change, cooperation on sanitary, veterinary and food safety, agricultural research and cooperation, and Diplomatic Institute and the Foreign Service Academy of Kenya. I am confident that the implementation of these MOUs will escalate the relations into an effective partnership in areas of focus and create conditions for Kenya and Romania to expand the scope of collaboration to cover even more sectors in the now and near future. During our discussions, I requested His Excellency the President to join me in advocating for climate action and calling upon developed nations to work with us. And I have requested him directly to support the Nairobi Leaders' Declaration that positions Africa as a continent with opportunity, as a continent with renewable resources, mineral resources, human capital, and as a critical player in the development of the future of humanity and our common position on matters climate. We also have had an opportunity to discuss global peace and security and shared concerns on the continued conflicts and instability in our regions and other parts of the world. Consequently, we've agreed to play our rightful roles within the existing instruments in the community of nations to contribute to a more peaceful and secure world. I briefed the President on what we are doing in Somalia, in DRC, in Sudan, including the meetings I had yesterday, on how Kenya continues to play a pivotal role in anchoring the stability of our region, the peace in our region, and the huge sacrifices and commitments Kenya is making. And also appreciate that this is happening elsewhere in the world, in Russia, Ukraine, in Israel, Gaza, and that collectively we need to come together to resolve these conflicts so that we can have a much more peaceful and stable globe that we can all pursue our aspirations as nations. President Iohannis and I also resolved to continuously work together both at the bilateral as well as multilateral levels to promote and support the achievements of the Global Development Agenda, including the Sustainable Development Goals. It's my pleasure again to appreciate my brother, the President of Romania, for visiting Kenya. I have also explained to him the cultural, the tourism, and the many other aspects that await our progress as we enhance the relations between our two countries. that culture, especially theater, is a space that is very well developed in Romania. And as Kenya, we can learn a lot in that space. I've also agreed with the President on how we're going to work together in the digital space, in the technology space, leveraging on their expertise and knowledge and building a nexus between their center of cybersecurity with our Silicon Savannah in Kenya, and how we can build that, because we all realize that whether it is delivery of government service, whether it is revenues, whether it is health, including ourselves in agriculture, technology is becoming a great enabler, and we can share experiences and share expertise and knowledge in that space. I've also appreciated Mr. President and the government of Romania for opportunities extended to students from Kenya to study in universities in Romania. And we are looking forward to building an even bigger engagement in that space to enable us build the people-to-people relations between our two countries. Mr. President, again, on behalf of the government and people of Kenya, I welcome you and your delegation to Nairobi and to Kenya, and we look forward to building a stronger, firmer relationship, people to people, government to government, and regional cooperation between our two countries. President Iohannis and I have just concluded very fruitful discussions where we have exchanged views on the current state of our relations and our path to the future in the light of the challenges that exist in our globe, but in the context of tremendous potential and opportunity that exists between us, our two countries, and Africa and Europe. We have taken note of the warm and cordial relations that exist between Kenya and Romania, whose inception in 1968 saw initiation of collaboration in diverse fields. We have in this regard reiterated the imperative to escalate our cooperation across all spheres of mutual interest, including political, social, and cultural and diplomatic domains. During our discussions, we have deliberated on a wide range of subjects across various areas of common interest: trade and investment, environment conservation and climate action, political and diplomatic dialogue, cooperation in ICT, agriculture, and of course, the people-to-people engagement, especially the discussions on peace and security, and the most important component we share of our belief in democracy. Accordingly, our discussion focused on strategies and interventions by which we can enhance trade and investment between our two countries. We've also shared ideas on new opportunities to improve the balance of trade and enhance investment between our two countries, leveraging on the expansive space created by the private sector and how we can leverage on the markets that we have in the East Africa, in the Africa continent, that we are consolidating into a single market, and how we can build on that, realizing that Romania, being a member of the European Union, I have thanked His Excellency the President for supporting Kenya, especially in the conclusion of the Economic Partnership Agreement between Kenya and the EU that will be passed by the EU Parliament and for signature on the 17th of December, where the President of the EU Parliament is coming to Kenya to sign off that agreement that will expand the space for trade, investment, and business between Europe and Kenya, between Romania and Kenya, and between Europe and our East African community area.